I'm recording. Can I use that as our intro music for the show from now on?
Yes, by all means.
All right, we're back with another season of South Park, finally kicking off, and you know what that means? That means me and Brian got to get together and chat about it and see what's going on. Break things down. Brian McWilliams, how's it going, man?
Oh, rough, brother. As you know, I will tell the audience. By the way, I totally forgot that you use. It's been so long between seasons. I totally forgot that humming.
That intro is staying until we get something better.
Hard to top.
That's right.
No, I was telling Dan. Dan was like, "Hey, you want to live stream this?" And I was like, "Fuck no." I look like. I mean, seriously, I look like warmed over death right now. I am so hungover. Still, Dan, I do a comedy show once a month, and the bar we do it at is closing. So last night I was out very late. I'm not at my best, guys, but I'm toughing it out for you people that we love.
Little does Brian know that this is going to go out as video form.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about possibly putting this one out to the public as kind of a taste to get people, you know, into our Patreon.
Let's do it, man. Maybe they'll love it, and then it's only can go up from here.
Yep. So just
I am still drunk, by the way. It's like you wake up and you're hungover but still drunk. That's where I'm at.
Yep. So if you're new listening to the South Park recaps, if you want access to future episodes or last season, we did all of last season as well, you can get access to those by signing up for either the Lions of Liberty or the System is Down on Patreon, which you can find mine by going to patreon.com/the system is down. Brian, where's yours at?
It's Patreon/Lions of Liberty.
You're real creative with our URLs here.
Yeah, we tried to use just a bunch of random numbers and letters, but it's weird. People weren't finding it.
Yeah, I don't get it. Anyway, so new season's kicking off. Just premiered, 2 days ago, 1 day ago, something like that. And the first episode of season 22 is called Dead Kids. Brian, you wanna jump into it?
All right. Well, I get it's a little bit of a tricky one to sum up because I know a lot of people don't even watch the episodes; they just listen to our recaps, which is kind of funny. But it centers obviously on dead kids, school shootings. So you got school shootings going on constantly at the school in South Park, and that's like story A. Mm-hmm. Story B is centers around Cartman trying to cheat off of Token, who he thinks is putting down wrong answers intentionally to fuck him over. And it centers around Cartman thinking that it's because Cartman doesn't like Black Panther. Much like Dan, who also didn't like Black Panther.
I never said I didn't like it. I would say that Cartman's right that it was overrated. And I did like that they worked in that narrative of Cartman feels like he has to feel like he's supposed to feel bad if he doesn't like Black Panther, which he's not wrong. That's absolutely accurate. If you don't like this movie, you're racist.
Yeah, we did like a Rotten Potatoes on that, talking about, I think, right? Yeah, exactly. It's like it just got blown up. It's like, 99% fresh. It's like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's
was
just everybody's
good.
Calm down. Yeah, it was a perfectly good movie. It just wasn't life-changing, you know. Right. So, but overall, my take on the episode was that they tried to take on a topic, right, that was really interesting and bold. And they had it's like the school shootings are going on, and everybody in the town is kind of nonplussed by it. Right. They're just over it, except Sharon, Stan's mom, who was like, "What's wrong with you people? This is horrible." So I thought it was interesting that they took it on, but I feel like they didn't really do anything with it. Right. Like they didn't really take a stand other than to say, people are kind of getting numb to this.
Right.
But they didn't.
The whole point is just you're desensitized to this. That's it. Like they don't really take it any further than that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was really disappointed. And I was like, am I not getting it? Like, am I missing something? And then at the end, Sharon,
spoiler alert.
No, spoiler alert. Yeah. But she's like, I'm over it. Okay, fine. Maybe I'm overreacting to it.
Yeah. She finds out that Stan gets shot, and she's like, yeah. Randy's like, oh, do you want to go down to should we go down to school? And she's like, no, that's just life.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. But it's like, it bugged me in that they didn't take on how often, like, number one, because the school shootings things bugs me a little bit in that they report these things constantly, right?
Right.
But the actual results of school shootings, like, it's about the same. They haven't gone up. It's not crazy, but also they didn't get into like the culture of it. Sharon goes, "We have to. Why is this happening?"
Right.
They don't address it. What
right.
South Park creators? Why do you think it's happening? We don't know because they don't fucking address it.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty surface level. And I was expecting. I mean, with the first episode of this season being about school shootings, being called Dead Kids, I was expecting them to really push some buttons with it. And I've watched a couple other reviews online. People are like, oh, it was really uncomfortable, super edgy. And I'm like, I didn't find it that way. They didn't really push any boundaries other than to say kids are getting shot.
Yeah, it was boring. I mean, really, I was really just disappointed as fuck at it. It was super boring. And, it's like they didn't even show the school shooters.
Yeah.
Like, you think they would have showed them or have a plot like, I mean, Butters would have been a fantastic school shooter.
Well, I did like that they had
the hall monitor.
Yeah, they had him as the hall monitor carrying like an AR-15.
Right, yeah.
which is pretty great.
But they didn't comment on that. They didn't comment on teachers being armed or not.
Right.
They didn't comment on, like, I guess maybe that was a reference to like that Sacha Baron Cohen interview with the guy who was like, yeah, we'll teach kids to shoot. We should arm the children kind of thing. But yeah, like, I mean, have a school shooter as one of the characters. Show up like getting geared up. Why is he going to go shoot the school? It was like missed opportunities. I don't know if if you're going to take on this topic, go all the way with it. Like, don't pussy out. Like, I just feel like they completely pussied out with it. They didn't take a strong opinion.
Yeah. And did you see their campaign, the hashtag Cancel South Park campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, what's your take on that? I'm kind of just assuming that was their way of basically saying, just trying to get attention, because they're like, we're going to go edgy or whatever. We're going to go back to edgy, which in today's cultural climate, South Park's days are kind of numbered anyway, but
yeah, they probably don't even want to keep doing it that much longer. Like, who knows? This might be the last season.
Well, they are technically under contract for another season after this one already.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that they go. I was hoping that it meant that they were going to go edgier, but so far it's less edgy than some of the things we've seen from South Park in the past, taking on such an edgy topic.
Yeah, it's like they got ahead of it, cancel South Park. Okay, I guess they're like, this is what people are gonna say. But like you're saying, if anything, it bought into the more liberal side of things of like, these are a huge deal. We have to do something about the like, which I agree. Something hopefully should be done. They didn't address even Second Amendment rights issues. They didn't get into psychotropics for kids. Like, this just they literally addressed nothing. And I wonder if it was just kind of to set up further plot points to go from there.
Yeah, we say that, but I mean, that happened all last season where it seemed like they were setting up for something great with like the drugs and all that stuff, and then it just never ends up going anywhere. So I'm not getting my hopes up that they're even going to address this again, because I kind of wonder if they're going to, like, in each episode have like you hear just in the background of somebody else getting shot, nobody cares. Keep that going. But I kind of doubt that they're going to take it too much deeper, since they, if they were going to like make something really risque to get people's attention, I would think they would have done it in the first episode if they were going there.
Yeah, probably. Well, so what do you think about the jokes about Sharon really caring about the school shootings because she was on her period or menopause? Like, I mean, it was kind of funny. It was a little things like, go, okay, well,
it was only funny because of Randy, and Randy is always hilarious.
Right. Like the scene where he's outside the doctor's office and he's like miming all this shit was really funny.
Right.
Like, I think that's the only time I actually really laughed in the entire episode.
Yeah, pretty much. Randy doing the charades and just acting emotional, and him getting sympathy from his male friends and stuff because he's tired of walking on eggshells once a month or whatever.
That was like, other than that, though, I can't think of a single funny part in the entire episode.
Yeah, no, not too much going on as far as laughs, unfortunately, because if you're not going to go, like we said all last season, if you're not going to go balls out for the edge, go for the laugh factor. And it's fine. If you want to make it just into a stupid, crude comedy, I'm all for it. Or if you want to make it this super edgy show, I'm all for it. But pick a side and go that way.
Right, exactly. It's like they really chose the worst path, just being tepid.
Right.
And like blinking at the problem. It's just terrible.
Do you think that there was any symbolism in the Cartman versus Token scenario? Because it's like Cartman's spending all of his time trying to frame Token for not letting him cheat off his test, and he's like framing him because he says that Token didn't get his parents' permission to it. Like, he's going through all this different roundabout way to try and get the answers to the test instead of just studying for the test. And then he gets his way at the end and he's still mad. I'm wondering if that has any symbolism at all. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, I would think the only thing I read into that at all was the interaction between Cartman and Token is like white people presuming attitudes on black people, maybe like presuming that's why black people were mad at white people because of this one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wherein it had nothing to do with it, which kind of weighs in with I think a point I made when I was on your show talking about social justice warriors,
mm-hmm.
which is like, sorry, hopefully that airplane noise isn't coming through.
It's all right.
Which is that when you have all this, cognitive thought about, okay, race relations, how to act around people, mm-hmm. you do get into this mode of like, okay, you're presumptively saying that this black person thinks this way, and thus I have to think this way, and thus he's gonna think this about me, so I have to it's like getting ahead of yourself as far as presuming how someone's going to act. But we're like programmed to do that now, and I think in a little bit of a way, that's what South Park was doing with Cartman, presuming that that's why Token was mad at him because he didn't like Black Panther, rather than just interacting on a one-on-one level.
Right.
Did that make sense?
Yeah,
like I said, I am still drunk.
Yeah, it kind of made sense. I was trying to figure out if there are any ties to be drawn between anything that's going on with like, maybe even the left with all their accusations and everything. Like they're going way out of their way to try and make up these stories and make up these cases for ways to bring people down, rather than just focusing on bettering themselves and bettering the country through, your own effort.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I wonder if the next episode will focus on Kavanaugh. If they're going to try to do that, or they're just going to like fuck it, and not even worry about it.
I don't know. I hope that they do something. Another point that I thought was pretty awkwardly hilarious was when the other women they go to Sharon, they tell her there's a fake, or they tell her that there's this school shooting. They convince her to go down to the school. They're like, oh my God, you got to come quick. And then she goes to the school and it's like this big romantic gesture from Randy and he sings her his song. Like,
yeah, I thought they were going to do an intervention for her when they did. I was like, oh, they're going to come in and be like, intervention. You got to get over the school shooting show. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Although again, it felt like even though they did that big musical scene, it still felt like there wasn't that hilarious of a payoff.
Right. There wasn't a lot of substance. It was like a chuckle, and you could have taken it even darker directions.
Yeah, like exactly, like push the envelope. So I don't know, man. Disappointing.
Yeah. Disappointing. Well, is it disappointing enough that you don't want to do the rest of this season?
Are you saying that because I'm drunk and out of my game today? No, I'd still push ahead on it. And hey, if anything, I either hope it gets drastically better or drastically worse.
Yeah, give us something to talk about.
This, like an episode like this, is the worst for us because we don't have that much to talk about because it was like blasé. It just kind of like, okay, well.
I mean, honestly, if you leave out very specific details, you could summarize this whole episode in like 5 seconds because there's like two things that happen in the whole thing, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like usually South Park, like there's a lot of nuance, there's a lot of different narratives working together, and this one was just kind of these two narratives. They had nothing to do with each other, and it was boring. Just boring as shit. I remember just watching it thinking, this is boring as fuck. Like, this has got to be one of the worst premieres of South Park I've ever seen. So,
yeah,
I hope it gets better, man. I hope for the listeners it gets better, and for our sake, I hope it gets better.
You hope that South Park gets better, or your performance gets better?
My herpes. I hope my herpes clear up.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, my performance has been
top notch.
Pitch perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a nap after this. It's gonna be wonderful.
Oh, cool. I won't keep you from it. I think we've pretty well exhausted this topic, and I look forward to doing the same next week.
Yes, hopefully with much more to talk about.
All
Step
right.
up your game, South Park.
Well, once more for the listeners who are the general public for this episode alone, this is the only free one. After that, you got to go join our patron programs at patreon.com/either The System Is Down or Lions of Liberty. Those are our two actual shows that we do, and you can get every single week's episode. But Brian, any final thoughts before we sing this one out?
Only that usually these shows are more interesting.
That's a great selling point.
It's like about the worst show we can share with the public, right? This what the show with the most boring fucking South Park episode ever. God damn it.
It is true. So, if you're debating on whether or not to join our patron programs, if you're watching the next episode of South Park and you're like, man, I bet they have a lot of funny things to say about this one, then go join. If the next one's just as blasé, then don't even bother, and we'll just keep doing it.
Well, here's a question for you. So usually I think we came to an agreement, right, that we both usually masturbate during the episodes. I usually come twice. I didn't come at all this last episode.
I don't remember this conversation, but
what?
Yeah,
we had a running tally last season. I won 47 to 42. All right,
something to hang your hat on there. So you said you only came once for this episode?
Not even. I got a half chub and couldn't even finish.
I would say if you did, I mean, it would have just been hearing the opening theme song. Then you're like so stoked you can't handle yourself because it's another season of South Park, and then
that's what got me halfway there. Well, don't worry, man. I'm going to finish. I'm going to re-listen to this podcast, and that'll do it.
Sounds good. All right, Brian. Well, it's been fun. Go take a nap, and hopefully next week will be better. I'll talk to you then.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Later.
See ya.